Hey guys, it's Danny. So, as some of you might know, I have been away for a week. We were back in Amsterdam for the same type of trip like we did last year. This time though, I did not have any time and any opportunity to go visit anything related to orchids, so no new orchids that I brought with me, but that's okay. I have a lot of orchids as it is. And speaking about orchids, by the way, this week is super busy and super full. There are so many things that I need to get to. We're gonna make a really quick video, kind of old school video of me just holding the camera and showing you stuff. But yeah, speaking about orchids, let's see how my orchids did while I was away. And I'm gonna tell you like how I prep for going away for a while, and you might be a little disappointed to find out I don't do much when I go on vacation or I have to go and leave my orchids alone. I don't speak to anybody to water them. I do not trust anybody to water them other than my mom, which is not in the same country with me. So yeah, no, what I do is actually I water my orchids right before I leave, like one day before I leave, making sure everybody has water in their little reservoirs. And then I go about my trip like nothing is wrong, and I come back to beautiful orchids, typically. So I'm gonna show you a few things that have happened while I was gone, but to wrap up the subject, what I do with my orchids, since my grow room is automated and the lights come on and off on an automated schedule, I have programmable plugs from Ikea. I really don't have to, do anything. I noticed a hair. Oh my goodness. My hair is everywhere. Right, so there's nobody here to turn on and off the lights. However, I did have somebody to turn on the AC on 16 degrees Celsius at night because it was really cold right before I left. So yeah, there was somebody to turn on the AC. If it wasn't that cold and this room was insulated and it was actually connected to a house, you know, I wouldn't have to do that, but we're not insulated here. This is just a makeshift room. It gets really cold, really hot, depending how the weather is outside. There's not much of a buffer, so I had to turn on the AC. But if the temperatures were okay, I wouldn't need somebody to turn on the AC for me. And as I was saying, I just water the orchids and leave water in their reservoirs. What reservoirs? These reservoirs. Do you think there's absolutely no reason at all for me having decorative pots? Well, there are several reasons. One of which is that I can water the orchids and leave a little water at the bottom. And since many of you know, I use solely sphagnum moss under this top layer of bark, whatever's left in the decorative pot doesn't sit there. So we're not having a wet feet, quote unquote, situation. All of that water that initially goes through is being absorbed back by the moss within a few hours. So that's what I do. I just water my plants normally. Sometimes depends. If it's summertime, I might leave a little bit more water there at the bottom because the sphagnum moss always and continuously absorbs it. And hey presto, that's what I did. Now, of course, as some of you might know, I also have self-watering pots. I don't have these pots for everybody because they're not as cheap as nursery pots. And also, they're not necessarily needed. It would be lovely though to have self-watering pots for everybody. Getting ideas. Nope, no. I need to save money. So when I have self-watering pots, obviously I can leave water in the reservoir, but I don't have self-watering pots for everybody. Most of my collection is just potted in these really affordable nursery pots. I have hundreds of orchids and it would just be an unjustifiable at the end of the day investment for me to buy self-watering pots for everybody. I could makeshift them, you know, like I did. I still have a few here and there you will see self-watering pots, but to cover everybody would be too much of an investment. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna use the decorative pot as a reservoir. That is the only thing I brought back from the Netherlands. Spoilers. There we go. She is a praying mantis and she's a very tiny baby, and for ease of feeding her, she is in this container that I don't know if I still have the video. I put together and unboxed many years ago on my second channel. Anyway, she will receive a proper terrarium, which I will make on the second channel on Danny MOG, but now it's really not necessary. But anyway, as she grows, you know, we're gonna make a nice terrarium for her. Right, so with that out of the way, let's just get to the few surprises that I came back to. Well, first off, the Tolumnias. Most of my Tolumnias are actually spiking, and you know what? I'm starting to go against my word a little bit. I'm wondering if the low temperature has an impact, because look at this one. We have a new growth there, not even mature, has 2 flower spikes. I mean, I don't know. It's been rather cold. Do we think that maybe the cold temperatures at night help? I don't know. But I shall investigate in the next years. This year, it's a little chaotic. Anyway, so yeah, the Tolumnias, some of which have opened, some I never saw before, and they're really, really beautiful. Look at that. Look at that beautiful color. She's so beautiful. Don't worry, we're gonna get to them in the Orchids in Bloom episodes at the end of the month. I'm gonna film everybody, don't worry about it. But yeah, the Tolumnias, gosh, you guys, I want more. I want all of them, and I absolutely love these towers with the Tolumnias. The bad part is, some Tolumnias create such long flower spikes that I need to remove one of the shelves and create this type of a section where I can actually place the tall flower spiked Tolumnias. Look at this. And I guess I can do that. You know, in the end, I'm thinking these 2 D12 shelves, I'm gonna make them Tolumnia towers. I'm gonna do the same thing here on this side. I'm gonna rearrange or reshuffle a little bit my Cattleyas, put them in other places, and make these towers Tolumnia only. There are some Tolumnias that I want to buy from, which one was it? Orchid Garden or Orchids Deluxe. I don't know. I've seen some new hybrids that I really want to buy, but I can't buy them right now. Hopefully they will remain in stock for another month or so. And yeah, that's the plan. The D12 shelves will be Tolumnia towers, and they will be gorgeous and beautiful and decorative, and yeah, just a pleasure. But speaking about the towers, look at another fun surprise. This is my Cattleya Crystal Smith, I think. She's in bloom again. Look how pretty she is. She's not fragrant. I checked again this time. I checked again just now. She's not fragrant. There are sources which say it's fragrant. I think some of you guys told me it was fragrant for you. I think I have the luck of not getting a fragrant individual. These things, you know, can vary depending on individuals. But look at that color. It is one of the prettiest mini Cattleyas that I own, and I love mini Cattleyas. Again, I have quite a growing collection of mini Cattleyas as well. Next to it, this one is not in bloom yet. This is a parent of the Vanagara apple blossom. Not a parent, actually it has in its parentage one of the parents. It looks a little like the Vanagara is what I'm trying to say, and since I cannot have the apple blossom in my life, I don't know when I'm gonna stumble upon it again. Yeah, I wanna have this one, and we're gonna see some blooms. Fingers crossed soon. I also found some buds on that new Cattleya. This is Whole Watch Season 3, I believe. It's the BLC Hua Yuan Beauty Hong. So, did I have this one in bloom before, is the question, because the name is familiar. But you know what? Oh yeah, she bloomed. Oh yeah, when I purchased it, it was in bloom. Oh, I see buds in the sheath as well, in that sheath. So she's blooming again. She is a very prolific bloomer. Look at that. I have her for like 6 months, and she bloomed, like this would be the 2nd time she would bloom, and this would be the 3rd time she blooms in 6 months, which is quite amazing. Really lovely. Look at another fun surprise. This is an Australian type Dendrobium. Dendrobium Patricia Van something. I don't know. We're gonna look at it when we're gonna look at it. It was supposed to be purple. It wasn't supposed to look quite like this, but it's okay. I'm a sucker for these Dendrobiums, and I have a few more Dendrobiums that are producing flower spikes now. It is their season. I've had this one outside together with the Sarcochilus, which, surprise, I'm gonna show you towards the end of the video, but yeah, surprise, the Sarcochilus, surprise, woohoo! So this is how I managed to get it to spike. It's that type of Dendrobium that requires a bit of a chill, and I gave them the chill of their lives, and it worked. So yeah, we will actually have more Dendrobiums that are going to bloom, more Australian type Dendrobiums. I'm a sucker for them. I love them so much. They're my favorite Dendrobiums, and they do seem to do quite okay in my climate, and I think I can get away with them even outside, which would be interesting, you know, in my new house when we're finally gonna move. It's taking forever, you guys. I'm getting frustrated. But anyway, when we finally move, yeah, maybe I will make them a little place in the garden and keep them outside pretty much all year round and just save space in the house. However, my prides and joys are still Cattleya orchids, and I will not say 'tis their season because it's their season pretty much all the time. It's always Friday in here, like TJ Fridays, right? It's always Cattleya season in my grow space. Look at this one. This is a newer Cattleya. What is your name? Village Chief Red Dragon. I mean, it's a newer one. We could do better. We can bloom with more blooms, but this is the first growth that blooms in my care. I got her last year, and it's a big, fluffy beast. Look at her. I mean, on camera it looks tinier than it is in reality for whatever reason. And if the sun would try to like not fluctuate, that'd be great. Thank you. Look at her. She's gorgeous and she smells beautiful. She smells a little rosy, a little lily. I always find these fragrances to be very similar in Cattleya terms. So if you know Cattleyas, and you know what I'm talking about, the rosy scent, yeah, that's how she smells. But look how beautiful she is. And she's been in bloom for a while, but she's still going strong. And yes, it is indeed Cattleya season here. More Cattleya season. More Cattleya season. Even more Cattleya season. I mean, we get the drift. Cattleyas are blooming left and right. But it's not only Cattleya season, which is pretty much all the time. It's also Phalaenopsis season, which is once a year. I'm not talking about the branches. I'm talking about initial flower spikes. And right now in my area, 'tis full Phalaenopsis season. I mean, almost. And my Phalaenopsis are not disappointing this year either. This is the first one that opens, and we will feature her in our next Orchid Care for Beginners in probably what happens when you don't stake your Phalaenopsis. So we're going to talk about that, but here and there I can already see opening Phalaenopsis, and it's so cool. I really love mini phals so much, which as you can see, they're not all that mini anymore, but it's always a special season when they are in bloom. And it's right now. Right now it's their season here. More Cattleya type season. We're going to talk about this in Cyglia some other time, but she's in bloom too. And lastly, you will never guess what other season I'm experiencing. Sarcochylus season. Yes, my beautiful, precious Sarcochylus are producing flower spikes. Look at that. Can we see? I mean, some are more grown than others, but most of these Sarcochylus, I did see they have flower spikes. How did I get flower spikes on Sarcochylus? Which I will say, I'm not entirely sure they like my climate, but I'm doing my best. How did I get flower spikes? Well, I kept them outside. I gave them the chill of their lives and they enjoyed it, apparently. Now, here's the funny thing. All of these, and well, there are others here as well. These Sarcochylus I had outside as an experiment, and I had a few more in this cabinet, the high humidity cabinet. The ones in the high humidity cabinet have no flower spikes. These, I think almost all of them have flower spikes. So there is a lesson to be learned here. If you, or if I want flower spikes from my Sarcochylus, I need to put them outside to get a proper chill, or as much chill as this climate can provide. Because whatever chill I can give them in the grow space is not enough. And I wish I can show you more because I'm bragging about the flower spikes. I swear I saw them, but they're tiny, but they're here. Anyway, they're here. I saw multiple of them having flower spikes, but this one, I guess, is the most obvious one. So, oh my gosh, you cannot believe how happy I am, how excited I am. Sarcochylus are like Tolumnias for me, given I've never seen them in person, but they look so beautiful on the internet. I really want to have them. So far, I've never been able to bloom them up until this year. And yeah, they look a little bit, you know, this is because sometimes it rained. They look a little bit, you know, not the greenest, but that's okay. I mean, I prefer flowers and a few, you know, little marks. It's fine. I'll try to make sure it doesn't rain on them anymore. But, you know, a few drops were present on the leaves at some point, and that's why we have this little pitting on the leaves. But it's okay. We have flower spikes. You cannot believe how excited I am. I'm super excited. more Cattleya season. So yeah, the other Sarcohylas are now outside as well, getting a chill, and hopefully that will be enough to produce some flower spikes on the other sarks, because that would be amazing. I have 10 sarks, I believe, so far, and I really hope they all bloom. More Cattleya season. So anyway, let us end it here. Normal upload, let's say, will begin shortly towards the end of this week. I think we have a scheduled orchid care for beginners. So we'll see each other then, but I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me today. How have you guys been? How are your orchids? What are the highlights of your collection? Oh, more Cattleya type season. Alright, so let me know what's blooming in your collections, and let me know also about Tolumnias. Did you guys notice anything about winter or cooler months being what initiates flower spikes? Because I don't know what's going on. Either the excessive light, which yeah, I know in my region the sun goes lower in the winter and we don't really have overcast days here, not too many, so there's more light in the grow room in winter for me. I know, counterintuitive, but anyway, it might be the more light thing, it might be the lower temperatures at night. I don't know, or maybe they just want to bloom excessively. I don't know, but let me know if you've observed any behavior of such. Alright, so with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, again, hanging out with me today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! P.S. More Cattleya season. I have to detangle this one. Oh my gosh, look how it grew. This one I need to keep an eye out, because she always grows so awkward. This is the Syncorana hybrid. She's an awkward orchid.